Hi everyone, my name is Marilene Quintana. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant and director of Visa Immigration Services. And in this video, we are going to talk about the Federal Skilled Worker Program, one of the most popular immigration programs in order to immigrate to Canada. But before we start, please subscribe to our channel. Click on the little bell right below so you can receive the weekly notifications of new videos, and please feel free to leave us a comment. The Federal Skilled Worker Program is one of the most popular programs to immigrate to Canada. The reason why is because it is a program that allows you to apply for immigrating to Canada even though you are back home. So even without ever setting foot in Canada, you can apply for this immigration stream, you can qualify and have good points, and you can enter Canada already as a permanent resident of Canada, as a new immigrant. It is also one of the cheapest way and fastest way to immigrate to Canada. There are 6 selection factors to consider in order to qualify for the Federal Skilled Worker Program: language skills, education, work experience, age, arranged employment, and adaptability. But before we can talk about the 6 selection factors, it is very important for you to know about express entry. The Federal Skilled Worker Program, it is managed by Express Entry, which is an online system that manages some of the federal programs. You need to be eligible for one of the federal immigration programs in order to create a profile into the Express Entry. And there are different points calculation considering the eligibility to enter the pool and the profile points that are going to be used to select you and issue an invitation to apply. The Express Entry will issue your invitation to apply based on the comprehensive ranking system points, which is the points assigned to your profile. Yet, you can only create a profile into the Express Entry if you are eligible for one of the main federal immigration programs, including the Federal Skilled Worker Program. To be eligible to create a profile into the Express Entry through the Federal Skilled Worker Program, you must have at least 67 points among the 6 selection factors that I mentioned above. I will explain one by one. The most important selection factor for the Federal Skilled Worker Program, it is proficiency level in English or French. You can use both, or you can use one or another. The minimum requirement for you to be eligible to create a profile into the Express Entry system, it is to have an upper intermediate level. We measure this level of proficiency through a unit called Canadian Language Benchmark Level, or CLB. The Government of Canada has a table that determines what's the CLB level for each score that you receive in one of the 4 abilities: speaking, writing, listening, and reading. The minimum score for you to qualify is to have CLB 7. If you choose to have IELTS general training, for example, to prove your proficiency level in English, this means having at least 6 in all abilities. In terms of eligibility for the Federal Skilled Worker Program, you can add between 16 to 24 points in regards to the proficiency level in the first language, and up to 4 points regarding the level of proficiency in the second language, in this case, English or French. We will always choose the language that you have the most proficiency level as your primary language, and if you want to add the second language, we'll add the one that you have the least proficiency level as the second language. When the eligibility points are transferred to your CRS points, meaning to your Express Entry profile, you can receive up to 160 points for language proficiency if you are single, or up to 150 points for language in your profile if you are married. The second most important selection factor is education. For the eligibility requirement for Federal Skilled Worker, you can earn up to 25 points for education. The minimum requirement to qualify in education is to have at least high school, and you earn points if you have 1-year diploma, a little bit more points if you have a 2-year diploma, little bit more if you have a 3-year diploma or bachelor degree. Then the next level is 2 diplomas, on each one must be of at least 3 years, then master's, and then PhD as the maximum score that you can have. When these points for education is transferred to your Express Entry profile, you can earn up to 150 points for education if you are single, and up to 140 points for education if you are married. And your spouse can earn the additional 10 points for education according to their education level. The third selection criteria that I would like to talk about, it is age. This can be a little bit confusing because it's very different when you consider what's the criteria for eligibility and what are the points that you receive in your Express Entry profile. For your eligibility into the Federal Skilled Worker Program, you will earn maximum points, which is 12 points, if you are between 18 to 35 years old. And you lose 1 point for every birthday until you reach 47 years old, and then you are not going to have any points for this criteria specifically, which is age, in your eligibility profile. But please bear in mind that even though you may not earn any points for the age criteria, you still may qualify for the Express Entry pool. When the age points are transferred to your Express Entry profile, the criteria is a little bit different. You will earn maximum points if you are between 20 and 30 years old, to the maximum of 110 points if you are single, and 100 points if you are married. And after 30 years old, you lose about 5 points for every birthday. The next criteria that we are going to talk about, it is work experience, specifically work experience outside Canada. You are required to demonstrate that you have at least 1 year of continuous, full-time work experience in a skilled work occupation within the last 10 years. The maximum points for the eligibility criteria for the Federal Skilled Worker Program, it is 15 points. If you have only 1 year in the past 10 years, you are going to earn 9 points. If you have between 2 to 3 years of experience, then you are going to earn 11 points. 4 to 5 years, 13 points. And if you have 6 years or more, you receive the maximum points of 15 points for the eligibility criteria. When these points are translated to your profile, it can be a little bit confusing because you only receive points when assessing the combination of your work experience plus education, work experience plus language skills, or work experience outside Canada combined with work experience inside Canada. And in this case, you can receive the maximum of 100 points into your Express Entry profile. So these are the 4 most important selection criteria that you can have to be eligible for the Federal Skilled Worker Program. I'm still going to talk about the other 2 criteria that it's important for you to know as well. The next criteria that I'm going to talk about, it is arranged employment. You can receive 10 points if you have a job offer in Canada. But please be aware that if you have an employer in Canada that wants to hire you, that's not enough to give you points. The employer needs to go through a sponsorship program in order for you to receive the points. This process can be either the LMIA or the Global Talent Stream. And only after your employer has gone through this process and has proven to the Canadian government that there is no Canadian for this position and you are the most qualified candidate for the position, it is when you can count additional points for this criteria. You can also receive points for this criteria in specific occasions where you qualify for an employer-specific work permit and you came to Canada and worked for at least 1 year for that employer. When the points of your arranged employment is transferred to the Express Entry profile, you can receive points according to the skill level type of your position. You will receive 200 points if your position is skill level type 00, meaning your job offer is at a senior managerial level, and you can receive 50 points if your position is skill level type 0, A or B. If you don't know what's NOC, you can watch our video where I explain everything that you need to know to understand what that means. We will leave the link for the video right here. Next selection factor that we are going to talk about, it is adaptability, which means everything that can help you to easily integrate to Canada will also count points to your eligibility. The maximum points for this selection factor is 10 points, and you receive 5 points if you have a job offer, if your spouse has also English proficiency level of at least Canadian language benchmark level 4, which pretty much means low intermediate, so very easy to accomplish. You also receive points for this criteria if you or your spouse have already worked in Canada for at least 1 year, if you or your spouse have studied in Canada for at least 2 years, or if you have a relative in Canada. Your relative must be connected with you at the first degree level, which means that needs to be either your mother or father, your brother or sister, your uncle or aunt, your nephew or niece, your grandparents or your grandchildren. In terms of adaptability, not everything that you earn for eligibility will be transferred to your Express Entry points. You can earn points in your Express Entry profile if you have siblings in Canada and you earn 15 points for that criteria, and you can earn up to 20 points according to the level of proficiency that your spouse has in either English or French. So just a quick recap of what you need to do to be eligible to apply for the Federal Skilled Work Program through the Express Entry system. Between the eligibility criteria, you need to add at least 67 points, and you can have up to 12 points for age, up to 25 points for education, up to 28 points for languages, up to 15 points for work experience, up to 10 points for arranged employment, and up to 10 points for adaptability. And there is no difference in terms of eligibility if you have more or less points. If you have at least 67 points, you are eligible to create a profile into the Express Entry system through your eligibility under the Federal Skilled Worker Program. And I know that it's very confusing for you to understand all these calculations and these numbers, and that's why Visa Immigration has a free assessment for Express Entry available on our website. You can just go to our website, select free assessment, enter your information, and we will confirm right away if you are eligible to create an Express Entry pool. You can also always book a consultation with one of our immigration consultants to review your eligibility and also discuss strategies for you to better qualify for your immigration to Canada. So that's all for today. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and please feel free to leave us a comment. Thanks for watching and see you next time.